hopefully it's going to get easier to borrow money. Hopefully people won't even need to borrow money. I think at the end of the day, it has to be like, even if money is flowing to pockets of very few companies or people, I would imagine at a certain point, you'll be like, I really don't need this much.
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk is worth 700 billion now.
That's what the number is now?
As of like January 2026 or December.
Yeah. He was long past the point of, I don't need this much, right? Like, that happened.
Well, for him specifically, maybe he does.
Yeah.
Because he's going...
I'm going to go to Mars and I got to fund all these other projects. Yeah.
For that, but I think he's contributing to society.
Yeah.
Somebody actually asked him once,
yeah.
Don't you think it's wrong for you to have so much money?
Yeah.
And he says, it's not wrong to have money. It's wrong to consume money for personal reasons.
Yes.
I don't even own a property as of today.
Yeah.
I live in like a tiny little cubicle.
Yeah.
I dedicate most of my time working.
Yeah.
Even when I travel private, it's to make me more efficient.
Yes.
He doesn't splurge.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a huge yacht he's traveling on.
Funny, what do you have to prove at that point, right? Like his goals and where he's going and what he's trying to leave behind, his legacy is, a lot different than, the flex of, look at all the things that I have, which, I appreciate.
Well, the flex is even worse than personal consumption. Yeah. Personal consumption, I think that's where how you can evaluate. I think flex altogether is wrong.
Yeah.
That's just pure wrong.
Yeah.
At least personal consumption, maybe you can justify somehow. You know what? I have higher standards.
Yeah.
I want a little bit nicer quality of life.
Yeah.
But to what end? That's the key, right?
It is.
And can you judge somebody for having, let's say, a 5,000 square foot house versus 2? Not really.
Yeah.
If you can't afford, why not? But can you judge somebody for having 10 yachts versus 1 yacht?
Yeah. Yeah. How many do you need? Yeah.
And there are people that literally have so much that they just buy because they can.
Yeah.
Whereas, again, Elon Musk, to his defense,
and
I don't know how true all of it is, but on the surface, he's using his funds for making humans multiplanetary species.
Yeah.
You do need $700 billion for that. You need more.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a religious person.
Yes.
I believe God controls all things in life.
Yeah.
And even a person's income is somewhat determined by God's distributing resources.
Okay.
I think Elon actually does deserve it. He needs it. He's entrusted with the greatest wealth a human has ever had in human history, because I think he has SpaceX, which is, again, creating ability for us to be multiplanetary.
Yeah.
He has electric car company, which makes us more efficient in transportation.
Yeah.
He has the social media, which improves our communication. He has a boring company that allows us to dig under and find more space.
Yeah.
He has an AI company that, again, all of these are improving efficiencies. Starlink.
Yeah.
All of these improving efficiencies of humanity.
Yeah.
So if he makes more money, the way he distributes it, not through charity. Charity is also, I love charity.
Yeah.
I give a lot in charity.
Yeah.
But what's better, to give somebody work or just giving handouts?
Yeah.
Work is better.
Agreed.
In the way
we all need some type of purpose.
Instead of just giving all the money up, he's reinvesting it back in humanity, which I find the most admirable.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that's how it's going to progress. Mm-hmm. Let's say all of these major companies that will have the tremendous benefit from the efficiencies that AI will create, they will just not just even give handouts, they will literally reinvest it into making humanity not depending on any resources anymore.
Yeah.
Like, let's be able to build a house for $5.
Yeah.
Then you don't need...
it's interesting. I mean, I don't know if you've seen this. You bring up housing. The big thing, we got so many challenges that we're facing. We don't have enough affordable houses, right? So we need to build more, right? But then on the other side to that is, population decline. So it's funny, the things that we're working through. But one of the things I've seen, I don't know if you've seen these. Have you seen the concrete homes?
Yeah, the 3D print.
Yeah, they 3D print in like a few days. And it seems like when you look at, fire areas, the hurricanes, tornadoes, all these places, I don't know structurally, Seems like it would make more sense. I haven't done a ton of research on it, but pretty cool, some of the technologies that are coming. And again, I could see AI running even that.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Some people say, the plumbers will still have their job.
Yeah.
Maybe. Short term.
Yeah.
But the robotics are advancing. I saw the clip from CES.
Yeah.
Boston Dynamics released their newest robot.
Yeah.
The thing walks like better than humans now. So at what point will they have better dexterity than us?
Yeah.
You can create a robot that has multiple joints, fingers, whatever, that's far more superior doing plumbing.
Yeah.
And do you really need a human body to do plumbing?
Yeah.
Probably not. The intelligence already can be replaced. But
well, I mean, if it's connected to the cloud too, it's got infinite resources potentially at the same time. So the problem solving, it's like, well, I'm looking at this, boom, let's
hook it up to like the detectors. Let's say put sensors, just comes to the house, senses the problem like that.
Yeah.
Goes not like a normal human plumber that has to dig up half of the house to figure out where the leak is.
Yeah.
Just boom, it's right there. 2 seconds repaired. Boom.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming.
It is. It is.
But then it goes back to, do you need money at that point? Let's say, today we need a job. You need to make $200,000 a year or whatever to make comfortable life, because you need to have to pay for a house, food, whatever resources. But if you have abundance of all the resources, you have virtually infinite amount of space if we learn how to build up or down or whatever way they find more space. And even the construction itself costs nothing because it's all done by robotics with infinite amount of energy. Like once they figure out whatever is the next renewable thing, the sort of nuclear fusion, then you have production of all goods and materials. Infinite amount of it.
It's in a weird spot, right? Like, I don't even know what that looks like, because now I feel like, once again, it's more government intervention to try and manage all of these things. And that kind of scares me. I do like the idea of autonomy. I do like the idea of, yep. I do like the idea of, I want to live here versus there. I don't necessarily want to live in stacked housing, but I can see why it's efficient. I can see why it makes sense. That concerns me. I like, how it's set up on one hand now, but I get with AI coming, who knows?
The way it's going to put us in the efficient boxes.
It is. And, you hear things like that online too, that we're making, cities into these efficient boxes where cars might not be necessary and, everything is stacked one on top of another. I don't know. I feel like we need more connection to nature, not less. And if we're just stacking the things one on top of another, we get away from kind of what makes us human in the first place.
Well, that's a bigger question.
Yeah. Outside of housing, right?
Are we still going to be human?
I know.
The scenario that I've heard about, and it's very plausible, that at some point that we are going to be so far behind AI that the only way to stay relevant is to be completely in sync with it.
Correct.
Almost like Borg, remember in this Star Trek?
Yes.
To have some form of a hybrid human,
which I think they're already working on, right?
Yeah, that's another Elon.
I was just going to say that. Yeah.
What is it called? Neuralink.
Yeah.
And then at that point, are we still human? If we have collective consciousness. I don't know if you watched the movie Pluribus, this TV show on Apple TV.
I started it. I haven't watched. Good to know.
I love that show.
Okay. It seems very popular.
One.
Yeah.
But the whole premise is,
there
was a alien virus.
Okay.
That they transmitted something. They picked up a signal from another planet.
Yeah.
They tried to create this thing. It turned out to be kind of like a virus that infected all of humanity except maybe like 12 people or whatever.
Yeah.
And the way it infected them is everybody became a collective consciousness.
Got it.
And now the question is, are they still human or not?
I mean, I guess you go back to the most fundamental question: what makes us human?
True. And is that the individuality or not the individuality?
Yeah. But at a soul level, like there's so many things that, and then is that already part of the collective? I don't know.
And
fascinating times, that's for sure.
When you are collective consciousness, things drastically change.
Yeah.
You don't maybe need certain things or the way you interact.
Yes.
All of these, it's just a different world.
It is.
And we are like, we think that we're limited by what we know.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that's going to be absolutely crazy is there's so many things that we'll discover that we thought were impossible.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you say like you want to be in nature, maybe there is a way to experience being in nature even when you're not.
Yes. Some kind of virtual.
Yeah. Do you really need to be in the nature?
Yeah.
You can feel and sense it and whatever.
Yeah.
Do you need to eat
Yeah, does that
perfectly
simulate-
healthy if you can just take a pill and everything is perfect?
Yeah.